The ugly whitecoats wanna rule the world. I am an ugly whitecoat. I should be able to yell at people who I call patients. I should be able to experiment with them in any way I wish, for the good of humanity. Well, let's see. Let's see if it works out for the good of humanity. It possibly will, and we must procure human specimens, so don't ever try and criticize me at all. I'm an ugly whitecoat. I'm allowed to maim and murder people through biomedical experimentation. It is just the way it is. Now, if those people do not wish to submit to various tests that we call out through the government to people to attend to, then we really have to consider whether that mentality of that person must be made and forced to align with the indoctrination that we must put forth in order so that we can have a constant flow of voluntary specimens. Now, if that person attempts to say, or people attempt to say that they do not want to be part and they don't consent, then obviously we still have to get their mentality right until they do consent, make it as painful as possible for those specimens to refuse us. So the more they refuse us, the more painful our procedures become. So give them the works, tie them up, put them in isolation, give them the highest dose of 9 different drugs, and those particularly painful neuroleptic drugs like Acufase, Penfixo, hold them down, humiliate them, make them feel that their every thought, their every move is wrong and needs to be controlled and managed. This is the way us wonderful, ugly whitecoats are able to break people with our medical procedures into becoming our willing specimens. Of course, they're not really willing at all, but that is how you get the mentality whereby you will bend such a specimen to your will. I'm an ugly whitecoat. This is what we do. Biomedical experimentation is where we make the most money, and the area of being able to call a person's mentality ill at the drop of a hat is very important legislation to keep in place. If we do not have this legislation in place, we will not be able to point at a person who will not comply with being subject matter for our experiments, and that will mean that we don't get to test our chemicals on a human specimen of that particular variety, and that person may also influence their other friends, family, to also not be a specimen. And we need lots of specimens. We in fact need the whole population volunteering to be specimens, and we should never have a single person who is unwilling to put their body before science to enable us to enrich the medical profession, our knowledge. We need the human population 100% on board so we can cannibalize their flesh for our wonderful ugly whitecoat experiments. The ugly whitecoats wanna rule the world.